It's the house!
What's going on, freaks? Hey, Wild Bill, how's it going, man? I was thinking about you last night. Alright, that should be enough there. Now it works. Alright. Yeah, because it seems like you were about as frustrated as I was, and then you left. And then all of a sudden at the show, people helped out, and we made the goal. So that was cool. But if you guys, you know, when you're watching the show, if you can help support the channel, that would be great. Put it super chats with comments. Yeah, I saw you here at the beginning. Oh, I thought you were like frustrated like me. I was just sitting there. It was crazy. Anyways, let's see. Make that a little bit bigger. Yeah, it's crazy how cold it is here. It's like the you hope it would start warming up for the fishing, but it's just garbage. You know, it's just you know, it was like almost too cold to go outside. Maybe the audio's off. Let me see. That's here. Looks about right. That was kind of low. I mean, I turned it down a little bit. How about right there? Is that good? I talked to Marty. Surgery went well. He's just at home resting now. Thank you, Richard Watts. All right. Yeah, we always got people in here that try to sort of create a little bit of a issue. It's always the same people. Hey, the audio's a little off. You know what's even more off? Nosy Google is you. Okay? So we're going to have to, I'm going to put you on timeout. Maybe come back tomorrow, okay? Thank you. All right, thanks. I never appreciate your comments or anything. Yeah. It's just you're always trying to stir things up, create a little issues here and there. I watch it. I see it. Maybe 30 minutes. We'll see how you are in 30 minutes. Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like there's some buzz going around on the Nancy Guthrie case. So I've got some articles here. We can take a look at those. And then I want to kind of go through the whole timeline again in the Tyler Robinson stuff, because this new information for me is like really huge. And I just like to have it all in my head. And tomorrow there's a hearing again for, I'm not even sure if I should, I mean, we've done all the hearings so far, but it's just sort of boring stuff, you know, about, hey, should cameras be allowed in the court, you know? I mean, I could do it. Yeah. See how it goes. Thanks, Wild Bill. All right. These are just, I'm just going to pull these out in random order. So I guess that Michael Ruiz guy on Twitter, he started commenting today. Let's see, that was 5 hours ago. Maybe just go back to, okay, this is the Tyler Robinson case. Early in the investigation, the sheriff department sent a sample to the FBI to check against the CODIS database. That came back without a hit, and authorities later ruled out a connection to the case. There was also another mixed partial sample that was not strong enough to develop a profile suitable to CODIS. More than 11 weeks after the disappearance, it remains unclear what answers that sample may be able to provide. And then over here it says, breaking, Pima County Sheriff's Department confirms that it has been sharing lab work with the FBI, including DNA evidence. Doesn't it seem like we already knew this, though? Evidence recovered inside Nancy Guthrie's home. We have been sharing a lot of things with their lab since the beginning, a spokesperson tells Fox News. The department defers comments to the FBI on what has already been received. Federal sources concur. Separately, a source with knowledge of the investigation says investigators had collected a clipping from Nancy's bedsheet earlier in the investigation, but not on their first visit. So let's see. Separately, a source with knowledge of the investigation says investigators had collected a clipping from Nancy's bed sheets early in the investigation, but not on their first visit to the crime scene. So it could have been after they'd already given it back to the public, and they found a portion of the bed sheet that maybe looked like there was some biological information there and cut it out. I mean, maybe this is where the flashlight in the mouth and it dripping, and maybe there's some saliva somewhere. All right, and then over here it says, regarding the sharing of lab work with FBI, Pima County Sheriff says this is not new information. Right, that doesn't seem new. I mean, haven't we heard that? I've always known that. Moore says that this hair, so I guess there's a hair, could be really important. It is determined not to be Nancy's and is male. Well, there you go. That there is interesting. And by the way, nowadays you can actually get a DNA profile off of a hair without having. Back in the day, you had to have the little bulb, the root on there, but it's not that way anymore. You can actually get the DNA out of the hair itself. Let's see, then an update. The data sent to FBI from the Florida lab includes test results from a hair sample, according to a source with knowledge of the investigation. Thank you, Cheryl Bullock. FBI is receiving data, not the actual samples. Let's see. It was expected to undergo more advanced testing. Parabon C.C. Moore says a hair sample is unlikely to be part of the mixed DNA sample. Right, because a hair sample is its own individual thing, It's like you can take the hair, and the hair has got DNA in it. It was let's see, so she said, Nick, it's not part of the mixed DNA sample investigators were having trouble with. Not after it's cleaned for contamination, she said. They have that process in good shape, but it can take some time. All right, so you can just probably take the hair, clean off everything, and then it's just the hair by itself, and there's no other, mixed anything on it, because it's sort of like a surface, right? Hey, look at that. It's Eloquent Pirate. All right, then up here, another update. Here, I'm told this is significant because the actual original hair sample has been sent to the FBI, not just test results. So now he's updating his earlier comments, that they sent the hair itself to the FBI, not just results and data, according to the FBI official. Thank you, South Texas Guy, for gifting a membership. All right. So it says, All right, and then another, it says, if we rewind to the first week of February, FBI had wanted all of the samples off the bat. Right, but they have their own labs that they were testing first, and because they failed, they're like, okay, FBI, you give it a shot now. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's labs out there that are absolutely capable of doing anything the FBI labs can do in terms of genetic DNA like that. You know, it's just a reality. All right, so I guess that's, yes, I made a TikTok. Miles, let's see, Miles report. I don't know, should we see what this says here? Is this today or this one?
Okay, so it is March 9th. This is 36 days.
No. All right, I don't know what that is. Maybe that was just a pinned. Oh, that was February 15th. Never mind. All right, so we got that, and then we're going to move forward here. Here's the post Pima County put out. Shows we've worked with the FBI since the beginning of the Guthrie investigation. This is not new information. The private lab we utilize in Florida continues to share information with the FBI lab and other partner labs across the country. DNA analysis remains ongoing. Yeah, but he just reported that a hair was... Huh? Yeah, we can see you. But he just reported a minute ago, other partners, that they sent a hair. So that would be more like sharing the DNA sample itself, not just the data. But yeah, just every other show you guys, my channel relies on the people watching the show to support it, you know, whatever you call ourselves, the freak funded channel, you know. That's how it works. So if you guys are out there and you have the ability to, that would be great. We need some, you know, maybe a challenge or something going on. Gotta make headway. It took like hours yesterday even to get a challenge in, and we were just struggling for hours and hours and hours, and then got bailed out at the end of the show. So it'd be nice if you guys could help support the channel. FBI analyzing DNA found at Nancy Guthrie's home that possibly critical to abduction. The FBI is examining DNA evidence recovered from Nancy Guthrie's Arizona home that investigators believe could play a pivotal role in advancing the ongoing abduction probe, according to a new report. Now using more advanced technology to analyze the DNA evidence, federal investigators received the sample, and the reason I'm looking over that way on the screen is it's just the way the screens are set up. I mean, I'm literally looking to my right over here, but maybe it doesn't look like that to you. I know, she types that in every single time they come in. I'm about ready to make it so that we can't read the comment. Birdie, you make the comment one more time when you come in, I'm going to block you. It's like you're almost doing it sort of to be a troll, you know. It's crazy. Now using more advanced technology to analyze the DNA evidence, federal investigators received the sample in recent days from a private Florida lab that works with the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Sources familiar with the investigation told ABC News in a report published on Thursday, April 16th. The analysis is reportedly aimed at identifying a suspect in Nancy's kidnapping. Man, that'd be amazing. The 84-year-old mother of Today host Savannah Guthrie is believed to have been taken against her will from her Tucson, Arizona. Okay, I have to time you out there, Birdie. We always know that you're kind of a troll when you come in, so Maybe come back in a half hour, see if you can behave yourself. You're like a little 2-year-old that shows up. The 84-year-old mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie is believed to have been taken against her will from Tucson, Arizona, home in the early morning hours of February 1st. She has not been seen since being dropped off by family the night before. Local and federal authorities have pointed to surveillance footage that appears to show a masked armed person tampering with their doorbell camera that morning. After confirming that blood found on the exterior porch matches Nancy's DNA, investigators have also been examining a mixed DNA sample recovered from the home, authorities have said. A mixed sample contains genetic material from more than one person, making it more difficult to isolate an individual profile. C.C. Moore, chief genetic genealogist of Paranormal Nanolabs, previously told People. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos has said investigators remain hopeful the mixed DNA evidence will eventually lead them to somebody, but acknowledged it has complicated the search for Nancy. But the hair isn't a mixed sample. Like if you have a hair, and like the hair is something, it's a really interesting location that the hair was found. I mean, apparently it's a male and it's not Nancy's and it's on the bed. And those kind of balaclavas like that are kind of notorious, that type of material, for just sort of having hairs and whatnot stuck to it. You know, even if you have it over your head, there might be a hair on the outside just because hair is around and it sticks to things like that. Moore has said that the more unknown contributors in a DNA sample, the harder it becomes. Yeah. I mean, if you guys watch this channel, you'd already know all this stuff regarding DNA, etc. She returned to Today's Show. Yeah, I don't really... Oh, I'm just going to move on to the next article. Let's see. So then we've got 10 WJR. All right, this one says the Federal Bureau of Investigation received and is analyzing potentially critical DNA evidence in the investigation into the disappearance of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. I would have taken like the whole bed sheet and everything, you know, the sheet, and just with a fine tooth comb go through that, and on the floor in her entire room. There's got something was left behind by the abductor. Citing an unnamed source, Fox News on Thursday said the DNA was recovered from Guthrie's home in Tucson and sent to the FBI advanced testing. The media outlet also reported that a spokesperson with the Pima County Sheriff's Office said they've been sharing a lot of things with the FBI lab since throughout the investigation. So they've been sharing the whole time. Right. But hey guys, could you please help support the channel? We're currently at 1/30th of a nightly goal, and we're just not making it yet again. Here I am, relegated to having to ask 70,000 times during the show, when I just wish I was one of the shows that people want to help support during the shows. You know, we do a lot of great stuff with a lot of the income that comes in, and that's the only way it happens. All right, so if you guys could please help support the channel, that would be fantastic. The media outlet also reported that spokesperson with the Pima County Sheriff's Office said they've been sharing a lot of things with the FBI since throughout the investigation. Guthrie, who is the mother of Today's Show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie, was reported missing on February 1st. No arrests have been announced, etc. So, you know, this is just another article announcing that the FBI has something. That's just a really ridiculous opinion, Ohio Gypsy Robin. That doesn't make any sense at all. I'm sorry. You are absolutely disproven In my opinion, I don't think she ever entered the house. Okay, so somebody carved the pacemaker out of her chest. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? They carved the pacemaker out of her chest and made it look like it was inside the home. Right? Because you got to realize that her pacemaker connected to the internal sort of, recording device that loads stuff out on the internet inside the home. Right? So what you just typed in makes absolutely zero sense. I hope you never type that again in any other place because it doesn't make you look good. Hey, thanks for the, what was that? I've been proven, yeah, it's just obvious, listen. Law enforcement knows exactly where she was. She had her cell phone with her, and then when she made it home, they know that she went to bed because her pacemaker is connected to the internal unit inside the home, via the Wi-Fi. And then when she was more than 10 or 30 feet away from it, it stopped sending signals to it. But they know exactly where she was. They can probably even pinpoint her cell phone while it's sitting in her home. Okay, so that is the reality. You can pretend it's something else, all you want, but that's just the truth. All right, there you go. I just gave you an answer, so there shouldn't be a rebuttal or some kind of because there isn't anything. Made it home. That's the reality. A private Florida lab that works with the Pima County Sheriff's Department sent the sample to the FBI in recent weeks. The sources said the FBI is now using new technology to conduct advanced analysis on the DNA sample to see if it can lead to Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper, according to sources. Now it's coming up here, May 11th. Let's see. Who's paying attention when you say, I'm so grateful that they're at least paying attention and continue to look for clues? Who? Now, the case is already figured out, isn't it? I mean, are you talking about Nancy Guthrie's case? Eloquent Pirate, or? I want to see the video in that parking garage. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Lawson. Yeah. So you're on the 11th, huh? Well, make sure to remind me. Send me. Well, it's probably not. It's not televised or anything, right? It's not streamed. An FBI official confirmed the Bureau was recently sent a hair sample that was collected in February. There is no new DNA evidence in the Nancy Guthrie case. The FBI requested this material over 2 months ago, an FBI official said. Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody thought it was new, but you are able to analyze it now. The Pima County Sheriff's Office sent it to the private lab in Florida. 11 weeks later, that lab has now transferred an original hair sample to the FBI laboratory for testing. We remain fully committed to this investigation. The Pima County Sheriff's Department has previously described the DNA recovered from Nancy Guthrie's home as a sample that came from more than one person. But that's not a hair. So these people, they don't even know what the hell they're talking about when they just ramble on. Okay, this is something different here. All right. Are there any documents on any of that, Eloquent Pirate? Maybe you can send it. But as I stated a minute ago, you guys, my channel relies on you guys. So if we could please get a challenge going or do something to get the ball rolling. We're currently already 30 minutes in and way behind the schedule. So it's just, it is what it is, man. I don't know how to produce any better material. You know, this is just, you know, for me, I'm putting out good stuff. For some reason, it's not. People aren't like, yeah. It's weird. I really don't understand it, man. It's crazy. The sheriff also said as many as 5 other labs around the country are working on the Guthrie case. Wow. It was not immediately clear which ones, what their roles are, or whatever there are additional DNA samples that are potentially relevant. That's weird. That's interesting. About 24 Pima County and FBI investigators are still actively working the Guthrie case after investigators released key evidence like images from the doorbell camera early on. Seemingly little progress has, you know, been made. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Coco. Yeah, that's when she apologized. I don't know. She doesn't have to apologize for anything. Savannah. That's ridiculous. Alright, here's TMZ's take on all this. That's, you know, see how TMZ words things? You know. FBI zeroes in on DNA to crack cold case. No, I didn't enjoy it. I think he's a horrendous individual. But thank you, Dom. See, I was just in there for a couple of minutes. I saw that there was a DNA person on there, and there were so many people asking questions and about the DNA, and it's like, man, we've gone over that so many times that I don't think anybody in here doesn't know what that means. Yeah. But thank you, Dom C. Very nice. Very kind. Yeah, I went in there and I was trying to tell people like the most basic stuff in the world that they didn't seem to know about IgG. You know, just really the simple basic stuff that we've talked about literally 1,000 times. You know, like he said, well, you have to send a something SMP file. And it's not. No, you send a. He thought it was SMP, like SNP, and no, that's not what you do. You send your zip file from, you download your raw data. So basically, if you're doing forensic genetic genealogy, it's really simple, the concept of it. You know, so normally when you upload your DNA, you spit into a little tube, and you send it into, like 23andMe, but they don't exist. I think they closed up. And then Ancestry.com. You send in your spit, and then they get a DNA profile, and then there's this raw data file that you're able to download. And when you download the raw data file, you can then upload that zip file to GEDmatch. And on GEDmatch, it'll tell you, it'll just give you a list of people after a couple days after it populates. And it'll tell you how closely related, the most closely related people that are in their database. And the number they use is called centimorgans. And based on the centimorgan number, you can look up on a chart and see, oh, that's a third cousin, that's a second cousin, etc. Like that, right? That's how it works. Now, that's how it works just for the regular population. Now, when the FBI has a sample of DNA, they can't spit into a tube, right? So there's companies out there that get the bioinformatics information and turn it into the raw data zip file just based off of a sequence. They can take the DNA sequence and create the same file that Ancestry.com created for you to have your raw data. And they create it without you having to spit into something. So then they can upload that to GEDmatch, or I think it's like family tree DNA, etc. Right? So there you go. And then they, like I said, you know, it comes up with your highest, like, connected people. Let's say somebody is 250 centimorgans. Well, maybe that's like a second cousin or something. And then you take their name, you figure out who they are from their email. You can contact them, and they say, "Oh yeah, I'm so and so." Then you look them up, like on newspapers.com. You can find when they were born. You know, in any obituaries, you can find who all their siblings are, etc. Then you keep working. You build this huge tree out just by, you have to do research all over the place. Newspapers.com and Ancestry.com. You can use all these different places and build out these trees, and then you try to find a common ancestry on both sides. Isn't that just really kind of basic? Hey, but I will say, Domsey, at least he's there and he's, you know, he's filming stuff. It's just crazy how it all works out, you know. All right, let's see. You look like you disappeared. But thank you up there. But no, I didn't enjoy it. I don't enjoy... there's so many just absolutely nutty theories that get thrown out there, and they pretend that all of them are interesting. You know? That's what I don't like about those shows. You know, it's like no discernment whatsoever. So let's see what TMZ says. It says, the hunt for Nancy Guthrie in her cold case may have just hit a turning point because the FBI is using new technology to zero in on new DNA evidence. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ that agents are analyzing what could be a crucial sample recovered from the 84-year-old Tucson, Arizona home. It's already been sent through a private lab working with the Pima County Sheriff's Department before landing in federal hands. So let me just look up something really quick. Let's see, new technology that can get a DNA sequence. Hey, thanks, Domsey. DNA sequence from, let's see, a hair without root. Okay, so it says new technologies such as bode extraction, Astria forensic, paleogenetic methods, and specialized NGS next generation sequencing kits can now generate detailed DNA profiles from rootless hair shafts. You guys hear that? I mean, I've told you guys this. I never looked it up because, I mean, Colleen Fitzpatrick told us about it. But isn't that crazy? Like right now, they don't need it can just be a hair without the root. Doesn't need the root anymore. These methods extract and sequence highly degraded, tiny nuclear DNA fragments, overcoming the limitations of traditional STR analysis, which typically requires a hair root. Yeah. And let's see, next generation allows for reading of very short, ultra-short DNA fragments, enabling the creation of SNP profiles for forensic genetic genealogy, even when traditional methods fail. Bode extraction, developed by Bode Technology. This technology is designed to detect nuclear DNA from a single rootless hair. And then Astria forensic techniques, developed by Dr. Ed Green. This approach uses paleogenetic methods to analyze ancient-like DNA from rootless hair shaft samples. So there's multiple techniques of retrieving a full genetic profile from a rootless hair. Here, hold on a second. Oh, there you go. I gotta send Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick. Ah, jeez. All right. She sent me another case for us to look at. I don't know if you guys would be interested in taking a look at that one pretty quickly after, you know. I mean, I don't really have much more to say on this other than we go through here. Sheriff Chris Nanos has already warned it might take time to fully process. He recently told a neighborhood watch group it could take another 6 months. And by the way, like if the hair's a male and it's not Nancy's and it turns out to be Tommaso's hair or somebody like that, it means absolutely nothing at that point. Because he's been in the house, so has, you know, his brother, her son has been there. You know, it just won't mean anything at all if it's one of the, but if it's a foreign DNA sample, then it sort of gets interesting. If it's something that doesn't match anything else. Still, the feds are throwing their latest tech at it, hoping it finally points them to whoever abducted Nancy back on February 1st. Roughly 24 investigators from Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI are still actively working the case. As for Savannah Guthrie, she's been devastated during... Yeah, we already know that. You want to see this one? It's actually pretty interesting. Alright, so hold on a second. So we have a DNA fund, you guys. And by the way, could you guys please help support the channel tonight? I mean, I mentioned it a while ago, and we're just still struggling along. Really poorly again. I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Alright, so if you guys can help support the channel, that'd be great. We had no challenges again. We just... it's crazy. And the only way that we're able to fund these DNA projects and the scholarship fund is when people are supporting the channel and there's extra money at the end of the month. I donate like 35, you know, I don't know, 30% basically of the gross income to, you know, different charities out there. Okay, so it kind of relies on you guys to do it. You know, I don't have a way to invent money that goes into pockets and then you send it in. You know, it doesn't exist. It's just, if you guys like what this channel does and think you can support it, maybe, you know, I think it's funny when people support channels that don't do a damn thing for anybody outside of the channel. They just take the money every single day and they do all this bull crap and conspiracy theories. And here we are hoping every night. Always hoping and hoping. All right. Gotta turn this off. It will be sad if they don't find the body. What's the name of this one? Oh, it's out here. Okay. So you guys want to see this one that we're, you know, asking about? It's pretty interesting. Do you guys want to see it? I haven't seen you help out once, nosy Google. Don't worry about it, though. Alright, let's see. Here it is. Woman apparently strangled. State police continue today in its effort to identify the body of a young woman found Tuesday near New Mexico Road 129, about 2 miles north of Newkirk. Now we should probably put this in here. All right, this might take 10 minutes or so. So if you're not interested in anything other than specific cases, this won't interest you at all. But this might be one of the cases that we get to do IGG on, okay? And we fund it ourselves, and we use Identifiers International to do it. All right? If you're not interested in anything other than what you guys, the same shit over and over and over again, then you probably won't enjoy it or appreciate it at all. Identifinders. New Mexico, Jane Doe. It's where they actually named her in the papers. At first I thought it was a different case, but it wasn't. Alright, so let me get back to that. So this is March 26, 1975. State police continued today its effort to identify the body of a young woman. And by the way, we'll get to the Charlie Kirk thing again later. Of a young woman found Tuesday near New Mexico Road 129, about 2 miles north of Newkirk. One of the investigating officers, Tom Hawkins, said Tuesday the body of a woman in her 20s was discovered about 3 or 3:30 Tuesday afternoon. The body was found about 50 feet off the road, Hawkins said. He said the woman was hanging from a pinyon tree, bound to the tree by her wrists with a nylon-type rope. I mean, this is crazy. This is serial killer shit here. Hawkins said the body was taken to Las Vegas, where an autopsy was to be performed today to determine the cause of death. But Hawkins said James Montoya, the state police district criminal investigator, said Tuesday it appeared the woman died of strangulation. Hawkins said there was no identification of the body. The woman had numerous contusions and abrasions on her head, Hawkins said, but he added it didn't appear as if there were any wounds, only bruises. Newkirk is located between Santa Rosa and Tucumcari at the intersection of Interstate 40. So let's see if we can sort of figure out where this is right here. This is Newkirk, New Mexico. All right, I don't know if anybody heard what I was saying a minute ago, but if you could please help support the channel, that would be fantastic. All right, let's see. So we got that. And then, okay, this is Route 129 right here. And it says about 2 miles north of Newkirk. So here's Newkirk. And then we take and measure just from here and go up to there about, let's see what we got. That's 1.5. That's 2.23. 2 miles, yeah, right around this area right there. And then they said 50 feet off the side. So I don't know which side of the road it was on. That's 200 feet. And that's 50 feet right there. Right, so this is somewhere right around in here she was found. Yeah, we can probably go down to Street View right there. So somewhere right off the side of the road. Back in 1970, 5, right? State Police Wednesday, in its efforts to identify the body of a young woman found Tuesday near New Mexico Road 129, about 2 miles north of Newkirk. One of the investigating officers, Tom Hawkins, said Tuesday that the body of a woman in her 20s was discovered about 3 to 3. It looks pretty similar to that last one. This is the 27th, though. Hawkins said the body was taken to the, it says also the tree and everything. I think that's the identical article, even though it's the next day. Then we got an article on March 30th. The first one was the 26th, the 27th, and then this is the 30th. And so I'm not really sure what's going on here, but it says State Police in Santa Rosa also said today they believe Nancy may be from Galveston, Texas area. Her body was found tied to a pinyon tree near the Interstate 40 village of Newkirk, about midway between Santa Rosa and Tucumcari in east central New Mexico. Police said an autopsy indicated she had been strangled to death. So now they know. A scarf was found tied around her neck. She apparently had been beaten, police said. So she was tied around that tree, too. Police said an autopsy indicated she had been strangled. And then police said witnesses reported that Nancy and a man identified as Mosley stopped at a Santa Rosa garage last week, driving the pickup and towing a small car. The car didn't run, and the pickup was on the verge of breaking down. Police said the truck was repaired in Santa Rosa, and the couple went on their way, leaving the car as payment for the repair work, officers said. While in Santa Rosa, police said the woman received a sum of money cabled from Galveston. The cable was traced in an effort to determine her identity. Her fingerprints have been sent to the FBI crime lab. Police said the low something of the pair used the tow car. I don't know. That's kind of a weird word. Police said the tow bar the pair used had been rented in Santa Ana, California, and was turned in at a rental shop in Amarillo, Texas. Mosley reportedly was cited in Georgia later in the week, officers said. I mean, I don't know what the hell. That's just such a weird portion in the story right there. And then right here, it says, hunt on for Nancy's killer. State police said Saturday an all-points bulletin was issued for the apparent traveling companion of a young strangling victim identified only as Nancy, so they have a name. Michael Mosley, possibly from California, is wanted for questioning in the case, police said. They said a description of Mosley and the battered pickup truck he was last seen driving had been relayed to authorities in California, Georgia, Texas, and elsewhere. State police in Santa Rosa also said today they believe Nancy may be from the Galveston, Texas area. Her body was found tied to, so this is the same person, right? Her body was found tied to a pinyon tree near the Interstate 40 village of Newkirk. So now these two stories are, I thought maybe this was a different story, but this has the exact same details as the original article. So there really is this situation here with this person driving a truck. And police said an autopsy indicated she had been strangled. A scarf was found tied around her neck. She apparently had been beaten, police said. And then police said witnesses reported that Nancy and a man identified as Mosley stopped at a Santa Rosa garage last week, driving the pickup and towing a small car. The car didn't run, and the pickup was on the verge of breaking down, police said. The truck was repaired in Santa Rosa, and the couple went on their way, leaving the car and as payment for the repair work. All right, so that was the 30th, then April 1st. You know, we're just having these massive lulls, you guys. It's really brutal for my psyche. So if you guys can you please help support the channel somehow? It's just wild. Strangled woman gave birth to... so look at this more here. Listen to this shit. The strangled woman gave birth to child before her death. A young woman who was strangled last week gave birth a week or so before her death, an autopsy on the body has shown. I mean, this is crazy, right? State Police Agent James Montoya Monday said authorities did not know where the infant was born, where it presently is, or if it is alive. He declined to speculate if the birth had a bearing on the crime. I mean, so that's sort of interesting. Maybe that's why she was tied to the tree somehow. The woman's body was found a week ago, tied to a tree near Newkirk, a small community between Tucumcari. I mean, so, I don't know, man. This is weird, you know? Because a minute ago, didn't it say she was 50 feet off of the... I don't know. Is there trees anywhere around here? This doesn't look like it. I mean... well, I mean, I guess if you want to call some of these trees, I guess. Weird. The woman's body was found a week ago, tied to a tree near Newkirk, a small community between Tucumcari and Santa Rosa. Montoya said a man sought for questioning in the death was last seen at the Georgia-Tennessee state line heading south on Interstate 75. A nationwide bulletin has been issued for the man, identified as Michael Mosley, about 24 years old. Mosley is believed to have been seen with the woman just before her body was found. The victim has not been positively identified, but police believe she is from Galveston, Texas. Isn't that weird? Like, she had just given birth a week or so prior to that. Thanks, Wild Bill, Alley Kick, and Linda Howe. Currently, we're at 1/6 of a nightly goal, and we're almost an hour in. So that means we're really at a place yet again. All right, here we go. Hey, thank you, Whiskey Boots. Appreciate it. Body of infant identified. So then there's this body here. What's going on? Of a baby, you guys. Unidentified. Okay, I mean, this is getting ridiculous. State police Thursday said an autopsy would be performed on the body of a recently born baby found floating in an irrigation ditch. And this is in Tucumcari, the same damn, area. The infant, whom coroners said was a full-term baby boy, was found by a rancher Wednesday. State medical examiner Dr. George Evitz said the child had been in the water for some time. He said it was estimated the body may have been in the ditch anywhere from a few days to several weeks. Well, wow. I mean, she gave birth a couple weeks before that. Thank you, Coco Love. State police said they would also investigate to determine if the baby's discovery might be connected to last month's murder of a young woman in the same area of eastern New Mexico. The woman, who has not yet been identified, was found tied to a tree and strangled. An autopsy determined she had given birth within a 2-week period, and police at the time said they did not know the fate of the child. The woman's body was found near Newkirk, New Mexico, 33 miles southwest of Tucumcari. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, this is crazy. That's a crazy case. You know, I mean, I'd like to. I mean, back then they didn't have a way to tell if it was her baby or not. There was no DNA in 19. I mean, there was DNA existed, but they didn't know how to. You know, it was a thing in 1975. So I don't know. That baby could have been hers. Hope they kept both of them. Yeah, this one. I don't know why this one didn't. It was just kind of a random case somewhere, but it's also really interesting. Now, when they finally figure out who she is, it might lead back to who the guy in the truck was, etc. Yeah, so there you go. That was that case. Lost about 20 people. You know, people just have the attention spans of gnats. All right. Does anybody have any questions on, you know, anything on Nancy Guthrie you still wanted to talk about? I just wanted to throw that in there because that's one that we're thinking of funding, but I don't know, man. It's getting more and more difficult nightly here for me. People send gifted memberships all the time, Sarah. That's all people do, you know. We get like 60 of them every single night. We've tried, the nights we do okay, we get like 60 of them. We have 5 tonight and 43 right now. That's not a tip to help any. There's many people that get free memberships and they don't show up. A lot of them are just trolls that are stealing memberships from people, but not all of them. Thanks, Michelle H. No, it's not the worst camera. It's just a really unfortunate situation where Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped from. Everybody's, you know, everybody's houses is off the road. There's trees blocking every camera. And maybe they didn't have a ton of cameras out on the road. And even if they did, we don't know if he went that direction or what. They don't know. And I actually wonder, sometimes it feels like they're still in the, you know, they believe that she never made it out of that community based on how they seem to be, you know, they tested the Bluetooth sniffer at low altitude in the neighborhood. I mean, why'd they do that? Yeah, just remove that one. That was obvious. Yeah, well, you don't have to remove them. I don't know who they are. I wish I could afford membership each month because I'd buy one for sure. Yeah, we're just trying to get people to gift memberships. So currently, you guys, tonight we are at 1/5 of a nightly goal. So if you guys could please help support the channel for the 98th time, that would be fantastic. We have had no challenges of any kind where somebody says, hey, I'll do 5 if you guys do 5. And that's really kind of how we get somewhere. When we don't have that, we just, you know, people follow the smallest one. It's just sort of like, you know, when you get the, when somebody gets a channel membership, I have 3 tiers. Everyone picks the lowest one default every single time. Yeah, so I kind of blew it by having the low, you know, but I kept it there because it was, you know, during COVID and people, it was really, everybody was struggling, so we kept the low tier on there. No, it's just you, Cindy. Yeah. Do I sound like a robot to anybody in there? Other than me normally sounding like a robot? Alright. So, if you guys could please help support the channel by gifting memberships, you know, Timothy, everybody out there, that'd be fantastic. We've had very little support from a lot of different people lately, just a few people doing it. We're just barely scraping by now. Okay, well, that's just your problem, Cindy. Yeah, so if it doesn't happen for anybody else, then it's on your end. Do you agree? Because how would it be possible that a different audio gets sent to other people? You weren't even a member anymore. Jesus. I'm a mod. Jesus. Ridiculous. All right. Let's see. Right. So it's just your end. And even if you said, oh, I went to another channel, so it can't be me. If the audio sounds good to other people, then it cannot be here, the channel, it's you, you know? Because it wouldn't accidentally, oh, wow, miraculously sound normal. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to go back and do Tyler Robinson again. I'm just going to go through the whole damn thing. Like, it's really interesting now with all this new information. Oh yeah, what was the one? There was a couple updates. Oh yeah, there was another update in the, you know, all the scientists that are disappearing. Well, I guess the FBI and they're taking it seriously in the government. They're looking into it. I mean, I was actually thinking about it. You remember that one professor that got killed? Wow, hey, thanks, Lisa Belson. Wow, miraculous. So we just doubled the show in here. I know you haven't. Not that you're not, nobody's required to, but, you know, I just been little support from a lot of different people. Let's see. What was the name of that one? Remember the professor in Boston that was running around? And thank you, Lisa Belson and Timothy Cecil. About 40% now. What was the name of that case? You guys remember that? You guys there? Remember the case with the one of the scientists that was killed is actually the professor, and then they were from like I don't know what, I can't remember what country they were from. Do you remember that? Okay. Man, I covered the hell out of that thing. Yeah, Brown University, right, exactly. I made like 400 videos and figured it all out and put it all together. Yeah, so that guy, you remember how they tracked down the shooter and then he's, you know, confronted at a storage facility, and then they found his body in there. You know, isn't that interesting, right? Like, if you go back to that, how do we know? You know, I mean, I guess if you did want to make it into something bigger, you know, how do we know that he did that? I mean, if it is a conspiracy and people are killing these professors that know stuff, then you could easily make something like that. Because there's another one that just came out, the 11th person. You know, they're adding it to it because in 2022, she was a person like into exotic science and was doing anti-gravity work even. And they said that she took her own life, and you sort of look at something like that now and you see these other ones that have that. I mean, this professor, this recent guy, he walks off. It looks like he took his own life. You got, yeah, how many of these are we going to see? And it's interesting that they're looking into it, you know? Like, FBI is actually looking into it now. I mean, it'd be, I don't know, maybe some are related and some aren't, though. Let me see. So this lady right here is the one. I actually found her on newspapers.com. Look at this. Amy Eskridge. You know, a brilliant mind left us when Amy Catherine Eskridge went to her eternal rest in the Lord on Saturday, June 11th, 2022. At just age 34, Amy already had a beautiful vision for life and the cosmos. Hold on. Oh, jeez. She had a genius for sciences and questioned the conventional wisdom on everything from the universe to nanoparticles of the atom. And by the way, you want to hear something that's really interesting? Most people don't realize that. But you know how there's gravity? You know, everybody knows gravity, right? 9.8 meters per second. You know, it's just it's a force that's out there, right? It's a force, it's identifiable, and everybody knows, you know, the numbers and how it's going to work, etc. But you know what? Nobody knows what it is. Still, to this day, nobody knows what gravity even is or why it's a force. They just know it's something that exists. Isn't that weird? Like, you would think somebody out there would have figured this out by now. It's crazy. I mean, nobody knows what I mean, you can look. I can just type it in right here in Google. Do we know, you know, how or like what gravity is? Or no, not what it is. Do we know how gravity works? See, it says we understand how gravity behaves and can calculate its effects with high precision, but we do not fully understand why it works at a fundamental level. Isn't that crazy? I mean, just think about that for a second. You know, like, we're sitting here and we got Earth and we got the moon over there, and the moon, you know, Earth has gravity pulling the moon, and they're just at the right distance where the equilibrium of the pull from the moon and the Earth, and they're just sort of like in this little balancing act, and nobody knows, like, why it works. Like, what's happening that creates that force? Nobody knows that. Isn't that crazy? No, it's not. I think that's just sort of an interesting deal, right? So there could be people out there like her. Okay, so nobody knows exactly, but maybe she figured it out, right? I mean, there's people out there. It says, after graduation from UAH with a double major in chemistry and biology, she became an interdisciplinary and a master of electrical engineering, chemistry, physics, genetic engineering, and nanotechnology. Amy is survived by her parents. Let's see if right here. She had a genius for science and questioned the conventional wisdom on everything from universe to the nanoparticles of the atom. She was also an astute entrepreneur as chairwoman and president of the Institute for Exotic Science in Huntsville. See, that's very similar, you know, to that the more recent guy that went missing, right? He was sort of like exotic propulsions or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. Amy's passion for space grew from a childhood. All right, let's see anything down here. Oh yeah, let's see. Amy lived a life full of passion and wonder for cosmos, and she was deeply loved by all those who knew her. Her dear friend Sam Reed, CEO of Geometric Energy Corporation, is naming the company's next Earth orbit satellite, and their Doge 1 payload headed for the moon in October for Amy. In lieu of flowers, the family, you know, so anyway, it goes on for that stuff. And then we have, you know, here's the newer article that came out. It says right here, UFO-linked scientists who warn my life is in danger before she was found dead at 34 becomes 11th mysterious case. A scientist experimenting with anti-gravity tech. I mean, here's the thing, so you guys, if somebody cracked the anti-gravity, and I mean, that would just destroy like so many industries out there, because it's like, oh wow, we can just move around and float around and do whatever, like travel. It would destroy the gasoline industry, for example, right? So you look at stuff like that and you go, scientists experimenting with anti-gravity tech was found dead at 34 after warning that her life could be in danger, marking another mysterious case of death and disappearance in recent years. Amy Eskridge was just 34 years old when she allegedly died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. By the way, women don't normally do that. Women almost never shoot themselves in the head. If they do use a gun, they shoot themselves somewhere other than their head. Okay? But hey, guys, let's see. Right now we are at about 45% of the goal. Do we have a challenge in here? Oh, looks like Lisa Belson's trying to do a 5 for 5er, you guys. So we have one by Wild Bill Wassman. All right, so 4 more of you can please gift a channel membership. It looks like Lisa Belson is going to match all 5 of those. So can you guys please do that and help support the channel? That'll help out tremendously. Thank you. We've only got Wild Bill Wassman, and seems like after that everyone went, yeah, somebody else. All right, so let's try to do. There we got one for Michelle H. Thank you. Before her death, she was openly researching and trying to develop anti-gravity technology, a way to control or cancel out gravity. See, that's so interesting, which could revolutionize space travel and energy production. I mean, how would you do that? That's just, I don't know, it's crazy. Anti-gravity propulsion has also been widely discussed by UFO researchers who have claimed this advanced technology is what allows alien spacecraft to achieve impossible speeds. Jesus, get rid of this. Get out of here. Jesus. All right, let's see. All right, you guys, we need 3 more. Alley Cakes counts. That's 1. So now we got 2 more. We just need 2 more to match Lisa Belson's challenge. That'd be awesome. That would get us to about, like 70%. Since her passing, shocking details, including an unearthed interview with Eskridge herself and independent findings submitted to Congress, have claimed that the death was not a suicide and was instead part of an elaborate murder conspiracy. Eskridge's death marks the 11th person with ties to America's space or nuclear secrets who has died or mysteriously vanished in recent years, putting U.S. national security experts on edge. The Daily Mail has reached out to Eskridge's family as well as medical officials in Huntsville for comment on the circumstances surrounding her death. The scientists also claimed that she specifically co-founded her research company, the Institute of Exotic Science, to create a public-facing persona to disclose anti-gravity technology. Eskridge says during the podcast, if you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if you get it chopped off. If you stick your neck out private, they will bury you. They will burn down your house while you're sleeping in your bed, and it won't even make the news. That's why the Institute exists, she warned. However, the Institute of Exotic Science has apparently closed since its co-founder's death, and its website is no longer accessible. You probably get there on the Wayback Machine. But you guys, we need 2 more gifted memberships, please. We're just trying to reach one of the normal goals that we've always seemed to reach, or the challenges, and we just, lately, it's like pulling teeth. It's so if you guys have the ability to, that'd be great. We need 2 more gifted memberships to reach the challenge up there by Lisa Belson. That's hey Jay, you don't understand what I'm talking about. You're misinterpreting it. That's not what I said. You can't use ancestry.com. Yeah, and you can't use Ancestry to load the information in there, but you can use it to find publicly available connections and families. So you're incorrect, all right? I know what I'm talking about. You don't. All right, there we go. We got Coco Love. All right, we need 1 more, you guys. Who's going to do it? 2018, Eskridge and her father delivered a presentation on behalf of their company, Holocron Engineering, describing both historical and modern experiments related to gravity modification, including alleged black projects said to be developing triangular anti-gravity craft known as the TR-3B. Wow, Jesus. She spoke in 2020 podcast interview where she had detailed a plan for the public disclosure of UFOs and extraterrestrials, but feared the threats against her were growing more and more dire. Eskridge said, "I need to disclose soon, man. I need to publish soon because it's like escalating. It's getting more and more aggressive. This has been going on for like 4 or 5 years, and over the past 12 months, it's been escalating, like more aggressive, more invasive, digging through my underwear drawer, and sexual threats." Before her death, Eskridge contacted retired British intelligence officer Frank Milburn for help investigating the incidents. I guess somebody broke into her home. Hey, look at that. We reached the challenge. We did it. Thank you, guys. Milburn's findings were submitted to Congress by independent investigators in 2023. I don't know. Man, this is getting kind of weird now, though, isn't it? But see, even this guy right here, this Nuno Loureiro, that's the guy that just got the Brown University. You know, the guy that killed him could be like Lee Harvey Oswald. They took him out before he could say anything. And then we've got this Neil William McCaslin. He took off. The appearance of it looks like he went off to do something to himself. But could that be exactly what somebody wanted it to look like? And then we have all these other ones here. I don't know. You know, maybe some are connected and some aren't. You know, but they're going to look into it though. All right, so did we reach the goal? I didn't see it. So we had the challenge by Lisa Belson. We had Wild Bill Wassman, Michelle H., Allie Cake, Coco Love twice. Thanks, Coco Love. Very cool, very cool. All right. She probably left after waiting for so long. It was like it just took forever. Unfortunate. All right, well, there you go. That's, you know. Let's just see what Congress comes up with. It's hard to really dig into these things since you know, because you don't really know them and you can't get information. Doing a case in Florida over my cats. Yeah. All right. Well, now move on here. I gotta open up Adobe again. Hey, thanks, Lisa Belson. I was like, man, she probably left. It was taking so damn long. It was just crazy. Thank you so much. Oh, really? Oh, weird. I figured you just like reach around and to try so hard and took so long. Yeah, of course you did, Nosy Google. Of course you did. Right. Let's see. Just try to be a normal person, Nosy Google. You know, whatever normal means. You know, generally how other people act. Okay, I wasn't sure. I was like, man, that was. No, that's not this one. Oh, that's in here. That's weird. It's weird how sometimes you open this thing up and then there's all these other. Look at, like, this is all Idaho stuff. I don't really understand that. Thanks, Nosy Google. Let's let me try it again. I don't get it. All right, let's see. Yeah, we're about 60% now. So is it this one? This timeline? Which one did I just click on? So that was Charlie Kirk. Maybe it's this one. Yeah. Yeah, weird. I don't know. That's crazy. So this is all interesting stuff here. Where's the one that has just the... Man, it's brutal. It had all the surveillance in it. Here, let me try one last time here. Jesus. I think it is in the other one. But because I added one, it was off the screen. So, Charlie Kirk. This one. Ah, see, look at that. There again. 14. And then if I go to 11, oh, there it is. See, that's weird. That's really all I need is, oh, look at it. I even have the gas station one. Awesome. So that's at 7:17 in the morning. The gas station footage. See that? And that matches really well. I mean, he did something else, though, you know. Because it takes about 3 hours and some odd minutes to drive down there. But I think if you're a police officer, you can drive a hell of a lot quicker. You know, like you could be probably going 80 miles an hour, go through lights, and, you know. So when they went down there to arrest Tyler Robinson, I'm sure they took advantage of their ability to do that. All right, so I'm gonna try to do this just in my head now, because I think I can do it. So really just, I guess this one. Let me export this. And then put it into just out here, surveillance, all. Here we go. But I am a little bit more interested now in the. Yeah, hey, Nosy Google. You don't have to send a nickel in if you can't afford it, you know. But you know, I figure that there's people that can, they just don't, you know. So if you can't do it, you don't need to send a nickel in. Don't send $1 in. Don't do anything. All right. I don't want anybody who's like barely making it to send anything in here. All right. But I'm kind of interested more now in those scientists, to be honest with you. I mean, it seems like there's just too many of them, right? I mean, what are the odds of that? And some of them are young, and like, man, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. All right, so we need to know. We're still about like 2 challenges short, by the way, of reaching the minimum goal tonight. So hopefully we can somehow do it. I don't know how. All right, let me open up the. Okay. I think they put this over here now. Yeah. There. Here. Yeah, so there's that one, this one. I think this one has some good stuff in it. Yeah, so we have this one. And then let's open up, I guess this one's even pretty good. These are all the good shots. So I think right up in this general area. Probably a little too high. There's the camera. That probably right there is very similar. So we got that one. Let me put a. And this one. That's a good one. Alright, and then let's Let's add a couple more in here. Camera angle behind TMZ area. Oh yeah. Camera angle. What's that one? Oh yeah, so this is me. Which one is this? Oh yeah, this is that final stretch that he walks on right here. Alright. We do that one. The full walking route. Oh yeah, put that in there. I think this is going to be pretty interesting. It's just camera crap. There we go. Right there. I mean, to see if it'll be, you know, publicity for the case, I think is what the hearing's about. Thanks, Jessica Schubach. All right, ready? Here we go. I think I have pretty much everything. All right. So right now we're going to go over the Tyler Robinson movements on that day with the new information that we have currently. So now we know that Tyler Robinson, they first noticed him on campus at 8:28 in the morning. But we actually have him on campus before that. Or I mean near campus. So look at right here. This is at 8:22 and 48 seconds. Here comes the Dodge Challenger driving down the street right here. There it is. And it drives by the camera. And then likely what it did right there, since that's right here. Right, that's 8:23 and some odd seconds. It probably drove down the street here, turned left. You know, has to deal with you know, stopping maybe once or twice, who knows. And then it turns right here, not there actually, it keeps driving down the street here, this green line, and then turns left right there, and then drives down this street, and then goes into the parking garage, and then goes in there just 5 minutes later after we just saw him driving the car. So I think it's like a continuous motion. He drives into the parking garage, and then apparently he gets out of the vehicle, and he starts walking around and makes his way over between 8:28 and 9:24. He's moving around on campus, right? So he didn't exit the parking garage until what? Like, let's just say 8:32 or something. So then, you know, he walks around, makes his way to this wooded area. He scopes that out. And they have him on, and guess what? That is going to be on camera. Now, if you don't believe what I'm telling you right now, we can take a look at this. So here we go. Let's open up that, move it to right here, hit pause, maybe back it up slightly, maybe to here, right there. And this is the exact shot that we have in the surveillance footage, right? So if we go just a little bit further into this, right here, that's the shot that they have, and that's this, okay? They just zoom in on it. So you're seeing it when they go like this, and you know, they could have rotated it like that, and then they just kind of crop out the portion where he stands up from over here and runs across, and their shot picks him up when he's kind of like in this area right here. See that? Right in that area. That's where they pick him up running. So basically, if you're looking at this, he runs like that, And then we see him, if I pan over, he comes out right over here. So he would be like right there, and then he runs over to this area, and then he, sets his feet down here and then drops to the ground right there. And this is what law enforcement is going to be able to do. They have the same capability. And that's why it looks the way it does on the video. They kind of rotate it around and stuff. And then from over here, you have him running up like that, across, and then he makes his way to over here. And then from there, he goes across the street. So they're going to have something that looks sort of like that. See him right there? And you see him go across the street, and then he doesn't continue up this way. So they have suspicion that he went into that wooded area there. And that's exactly why they went in to the woods there. But again, in the morning time, so if we go back to here again, we know that he's walking around over here between, let's say, 9:30 and or 8:30 and 9:24. So if we go back to that camera footage, that means they can see him. When he came onto campus and he walked probably somewhere around in here, and then went over there. They could see him over there, walking around, and then eventually he makes his way from that area down to the Losi Center buildings right here, and he went to the crime scene where Charlie Kirk was shot. Okay, so he actually went down there. All right. Then eventually he makes his way back to the parking area in the parking garage, which is right over here. And then he exits the parking garage. He enters into the parking garage at 9:24, and then he drives away at 9:32. So he goes into there, and then he has to make his way to the car, and then he ends up leaving there at 9:32, and then they say he heads northeast into the same neighborhood here. And they know that likely there's a couple reasons. Could be his cell phone data, because they've looked that up. It could be cameras in this neighborhood that filmed him, just like this one here filmed the Dodge Charger. So maybe it filmed again. We just aren't aware of that. And the vehicle drives back up here again, and probably makes it there by 9:40, right? So if it leaves at 9:32, maybe 9:36 or so, 9:38, who knows? I just have around 9:40, parks the car right there, and then guess what he does then? He must be hanging out there for 15, 20 minutes at the car, gets out, and then he walks this direction again, wearing the maroon shirt. He's got a backpack, etc. Because watch. So after he did that, he gets out of his car, and then here he is right there. See, there's a gap here. This surveillance footage here is, hold on, right there. That is at 8:22. Then he goes on to campus. Then he drove back into this area again. We don't have the footage of that, but they know that he did. And then right here, you can see the sun change. See how it shifts quite a bit? Right there, just that little bit. See, that's a pretty huge difference. That's because now we're at 9:57, an hour and a half later. And so here is Tyler Robinson. He's right there. So he had parked in that area, and this is 9:57:49. And then you can see him. I'm the only one that has this footage out here. And see, he walked way over there, and he goes around the corner. Okay, and what we're looking at there then, if this is the house, it's looking straight down the street, and we're really just seeing him as he comes around right there and he disappears. So we know he's walking down the street. And then based on the timing, it takes 10 minutes. He walked this direction, like this, over here, and then turned left on this main street. And I guarantee you that he is on camera wearing the maroon shirt and shorts, just like the other footage of him where he's got the gun in his pants and he's walking down the street right there. They're going to have him in the maroon shirt. He walks this direction. He turns left. He goes down, and then precisely, I can't say precisely, but at right around 10:07, he passes the camera on this house, 1007, 1008. And I walked it. It takes 10 minutes to walk from the original house with the surveillance all the way to this area. It takes 10 minutes. And Candace Owens said it was 8:07. So let's just say she was off by 2 hours and it was 10:07. All right, now that footage can be seen. So right after this is the order. He's right here. He's walking. And then literally 10 minutes later, he's right there. Okay, so they put out, Candace Owens and her crew put out false information to try to throw people off earlier. Maybe they're the ones with the ops, you know. So here we go. He's walking, and this is right around 10:07. And then he sort of heads off to the right. So it looks like he's doing a dry run right here. He heads down, he comes over, probably goes through the tunnel, etc. But we don't have any other footage of him. And all we know then is that he took off again at probably, well, let's take a look. So the next footage we have is right there. Okay? And we see him. He's walking right there with the backpack. And you can see him, he's limping. See that? He's doing the same limp that you see in a minute. The time on this camera is 11:45. So he probably left where the car is parked at 11:40. And I think the car, see what we're looking at right there is he is walking right there in that shot. 11:45. So I think he parked perhaps right here. He moved the spot. So I think on the dry run, he was right here. Then he moved it to right there. Another great spot to pick a car. There's only 2 spots that are this good. Look at this. Fence on that side. Fence on that side. Trees everywhere. Nothing's filming you at all. There is a camera there. Or, well, not a camera. There's a house there. And all you have to do is open up your passenger side door, change into whatever you're changing into, and you can always look that direction. If you see anybody, you just stop. Right? And then, once he's got the gun in his pants, he then turns right there, goes right down like this, turns left, goes this direction, and makes his way into this street right here and turns left. But hey guys, if you're on the channel, we're still, we're only at 66% of the goal where I send in 5, right? So we're still just not there yet. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, that would be awesome. Yeah, we're just really, come on you guys, we can do it, we can do it. So right there, he turns left, heads down the street here. And we see him on 2 cameras. First, the TMZ original camera, which I think is this. It's this house right here. And if you go down the street view, you can actually see that there's a camera right at the top, right there. That's a camera up there. And there's another camera. If you go down to this house, it's in the same position. You go right here, look up, and at the top up there, there is another camera. It's kind of like a light there. Could be, we can walk by there. I actually have this footage here, so let's see. If we do the full walking route. Let me go all the way to,
Went down right.
just before this. Yeah, so right there, there's a camera. And then there was one, let me just go back slightly. And right there. So that's the other camera. See the basketball hoop right there? Just keep that in mind. So here he comes, walking by right here. Right there. And then he just, goes down the block. It's 11:46:46 right now. And then the TMZ shot, which is right there, it picks him up at 11:49, so just 3 minutes later, which absolutely matches perfectly to him being right here, walking, with a little bit of a limp, turns left, and then this camera right here picks him up, coming in from over here. And there he is, way off to the left there. And they sort of zoom in, so you lose the time that was at the bottom right. But there he is, limping in. We don't have any coffees. We don't have anything, you guys. We're just... What's going on? Yeah. Oh, we did get a PayPal, though, so thank you. So here he is walking right here, and then he cuts across right around 11:50 onto the grass here. Some of this is in the video that I did, but this is the long version. So here he comes, right there, and then he almost turns around, and then he goes, ah, crap, he's going to go. He's going to do it. So we got that right there, boom. Then, from there, he took a right. So the shot that you just saw is like that. And by the way, when I said to remember the basketball hoop, there it is right there. See? So that was above it. And now let's look at it. He's walking like this. Basketball hoop's right there. He's walking, turns right onto the grass. He went right over the little bridge here. And then if you walk right down here, there's no stepping at all. Then I think he went straight across through the parking lot, and then he goes into the tunnel here. Now I think I have that. Let me see if I have shooting full wooded area, camera angle. Oh yeah, I think that's what that one is. This one. So let's just move it forward. That's it. So look at this. So you walk like this into the tunnel. Yeah. And then look at this. I push the camera up right into the camera itself. Right? And then look at that. There it is. All right. So we can see the precise angle that Tyler Robinson was walking down these steps right here. And that was Chris O'Connell who sent the a PayPal in. Thank you. All right, so back to this. So right after this, I should be cutting over to the still frames. There we go. So look at that. That one right there is precisely here. He's coming down these steps, and they just cropped it out. So they probably zoomed in something like that and cropped it out. And we can probably make out like, I'm going to see that little line there. It's a little thicker up there. There's that darker spot. Let's see if we can see that. Yeah, well, so obviously that's going to be the line there because it's at the top of the stairs. And then you can see probably this dot there, etc. So anyways, he's coming down the stairs. He stopped at the top of the stairs and used his cell phone. And they're going to be able to track that because it connected to, something. Wi-Fi, connected to, uses cell data. They're going to be able to show that he was on campus right around 11:53. That's when he did that. Then he goes down the stairs. And the next shot is this one right there. Okay? And that's what we're going to show next. So I'm just going to move it slightly forward and start moving down the hall here. The tunnel, I guess. Hold on. I stayed there for a while. So there you go. And then see right there, that's where he was filmed, against that wall. I'm going to move the camera up next to this camera. There we go. Boom. Right there. Okay? Then I'm going to turn around, and this is what they use. They have Tyler Robinson walking from all the way over there, down this hallway, and up these stairs right here. This is how simple it is. So isn't this really valuable to see this, you guys? When you look at this, you just say, oh, shit, okay. So that one camera at the other end films him walking this way. Then they pick him up on this camera. Then he makes his way up those stairs. That little area there with the sort of yellow-orange light is exactly what's behind him here. And in fact, you can almost get the exact angle when looking at that. When I was walking by, I actually could find the precise holes that are in the wall, but it doesn't really matter. It's this section right there, because over there, there's none of these little holes, and it doesn't have that coloring. It's just that one light made it look like that there, and that's exactly what you see right here. Okay, so then after that, he goes up the stairs, and we have that one. All right, so those stairs that you were just looking at right there is exactly where he went. So let's just go up there. I was doing my little walking thing. I was kind of putting myself in that position. All right, and now we're going up these stairs right now. Here we go. All right, here we go. I mean, how can you watch this and then just believe any other crap that's out there? That's why it's so frustrating. All right, so anyways, right back there is this shot right there. See, he's coming up the stairs. And then here's another shot when he's at the top of the stairs. And remember how they said recently that they could see a bulge under his shirt while he's doing this on video. Okay? So he goes like that and then up. All right, so let's just play this. This is what it's going to look like for them. See how clear this is with people moving around and walking? That's exactly what it's going to look like. Okay? Just like that. And you're going to see him walk up these stairs. I guess I'm going to be doing it myself. Here I go. Man, I was just so tired. So look, he goes around the corner here and then up these stairs. So that's exactly what he's going to be doing. It's just so simple. You're going to see him walk up on video doing exactly what I just showed you. All right. Let's go back to the I'm sure I'm going to have to do this multiple more times over the month coming up. In May let's see. I think in May there's a preliminary hearing, which is going to be incredible. I cannot wait for that. All right, guys, let's see if somebody can do one challenge in here. I think I'd get to, it would be the minimum goal at the level where I don't donate the 5 memberships. So let's see if we can try to do that. Because we're not even at 80, we're at 66% of the number where I would donate 5. All right. So then after he goes up the stairs, it comes out right here. There's a little opening there. And I can show you on another video how that worked. So this is the walkthrough here. I'm just going to skip forward.
School's probably getting out right
over here. See, look at, here I am. This is what Tyler Robinson did right here. Just watch this at regular speed so you can get it from his perspective. This is what it looked like. You know, he's probably looking around, you know, whatever he's doing. And then he does stop at the top of the stairs over here. I don't do that, but you go into the tunnel. He walks down. And then goes around this corner right here. See, and then up right there. And then there's the camera that films him coming up the stairs. Right there. And goes around like this. And then right from there, you come out onto the street right over here. See that? Boom. Right there. So what we're looking at right now is right when he comes out, heads down this direction, and then cuts across on, I think, this path right there. I think he even made it onto this one. Comes up and then makes his way up behind, like it's back through here. It's easier to do this little walk, and then you go up a little set of stairs there, and then you make it back in front of the Losi Center building. And apparently from the new document, he took the sidewalk around. So what I could do is take this and change it a little bit. Let's see if I go like that. Here. This might actually work. Oh, shoot. Let's see. Right there. And right here. And then boom. So there you go. That's what the path was. So that's what you're going to see here. Just now, you're going to see me walk straight from here, this direction, and just picture him walking with a limp, but this is how he went. And here we go. Just like this. So this is 14 minutes into this video, 14:23. And let's just see how long it takes from here to get to, because it kind of makes, so let's just go 11:53 is in the tunnel. And then they see him at 12:02 walking in front of the Losi Center building, which is 9 minutes. Kind of makes sense. I mean, it just all fits here. Alright, so this is when my foot was hurting. You can hear it kind of slapping on the ground. You still hear Lisa Belson? What do you think of this? Yeah, get some jokes to Jim Lawn. We need to get the support up for the channel in here. So look, it walked up like this. Just imagine walking with a limp here. Yeah, but I'm going the way that there isn't as many stairs to go up. This is really about it right here. Just a little bit of steps here on the left. You go up them, and that's it. All right. The other ways, there's a lot more steps to go up. So I'm going to be heading up like this, just like that. Get rid of that. This is the Losi Center building right there. Yeah, here we go. And then right up there is where Tyler Robinson came off the roof later Okay, but I cut across the grass here, but that one document recently just said he was walked on the sidewalk. So that's probably what he did. So right now we're about 3 minutes after I left the parking garage. Yeah. So who knows, you know, when he went in the tunnel, maybe he sat, you know, stopped in the tunnel for a little bit. And or we don't know how long he was on his cell phone. Because they said at 11:53 he's on his cell phone and then eventually keeps moving forward. So he may have actually walked down at like 11:56. Man, I had put so many steps on that day. I walked like, I think 20-something thousand steps. It was crazy. Like, all right, and look at that. Look how easy this is. I opened the door for that girl, and she was like shocked that somebody would actually do that. All right, look at it. And then you go up. Look how simple this is, you guys. Goes up these stairs. This is what Tyler Robinson had to confront. Candace Owens says that he had to be a gymnast to get up there. That's just total garbage. All right, so you go up the top of the stairs here,
Easy.
and this fence here was not there. All right, we got Alley Cake said EB and G walk into a bar. The bartender says, "Sorry, no minors." You get it? No minors, as in musical. Eb and G. Alright, so this fence was not there, and Tyler Robinson climbed over this wall right there, and he laid down, and that's where he assembled. I don't know if he laid down, but he removed the rifle from his pants, and he assembled the two parts. You need 2 screws. Put it together, and that was at 12:17. Then he stood up at 12:22 after 5 minutes, and then ran over to the corner over there. Now is right here. Here we go. Watch. Boom. All right, so let's look back this direction. Right there is that little sidewall. He stood up and he ran towards the camera here, and a little off to the left here, or he'd fall down there. So he came across and he ran right by there, and he made his way to right there and sort of shimmied over. And look at that. That's almost exactly the shot right there. He took a shot from right there, straight down there where Charlie Kirk was. If he was over a little bit more to the right, it would hit that roof that sticks out right there. All right. Then after that, so here he is. I mean, this is about as far as I went. So right to that spot. That's where the shot came from. Then he ran across here. See that little cylinder right there? That's what we see in this video right when this starts. Let's go right into there and go back. Okay, I'm going to go back as far as it goes, right when it starts, and then zoom in. See, there he is right there, and there's that little cylinder thing. All right, so then he runs off, and that's right there. So that means he got it from here, and then 4 seconds later, he's running by this. If you listen to, people on Twitter, they go, "Oh my God, how could he run that far in 5 seconds?" Well, look at it. It's not far at all. From there to here, right? It's nothing. So this is how he would have got off. This is what it looked like from his perspective here. All right, going around the corner, kind of slowed down. I wasn't sure if these were wires here. It kind of looked weird. And then, eventually he ran right behind here, and then he came out right at this corner. And then right here, he lets himself down. Now, recently, I discovered on this video itself, I show the fingerprints and smudges as well on the roof. So let's just stop it like right there, boom, and then look down, and there it is. See, there's the handprint, the little dot, that one, and that's the same thing that you see. I don't have that little shot in here, but you can see the handprints right there. So that's where he let himself down, stepped on there, and then jumped down, and then hit the ground down there. Hey, thank you, Sarge. Well, you can't, but nobody else seems to realize it, Sarge. Everyone just goes, yeah. Ooh, let's watch Candace Owens and Baron. They don't even know what they're doing. This is like the most simple case that's ever been, and they've turned it into this complex pile of crap that doesn't, with nothing reasonable that they're saying. It's crazy. All right, so he jumps down right there. Then if we go back and watch this footage, let me open up one more clip in here. This is I think the handprint one. There it is. This one's better for the handprints. I just put this up here randomly, you guys. I didn't even know that there was anything up there. I'm not sure why I even did it. Oh, look at that. We've got, Lisa said, hey, I bought my grandma a new stair lift. It's driving her up the wall. Is Jim doing a joke challenge? Right, see those right there? And look at the positioning. Let's rewind this slightly, just a little bit. Let's see if I'm up. Right there we go. So see how this is basically right in the middle of that window. See how the window's right there? That handprint there is close to being in the middle, maybe slightly off to the left. You see that? Let's move it up a little bit, and there we go. So, on this footage, there's the window. Now watch. His left hand is right in the middle. Right now. See, right now, his left hand is sitting on that ledge. And notice how it's right in the middle of that window. Now, right before that, though, watch what everything else does. Watch this. He lets himself down. Now, see his right foot? How it's kind of the corner of his foot. It slides off. Boom. And then something right there maybe hit the ledge. And then right now, his left hand is on there to drag off. So what we're seeing right here on this footage is that little spot right there, in my opinion, is the corner of his foot dragging off. This is where the backpack hit, and this is where his left hand was when he was letting himself jump off the roof. And so right now it makes that drag mark. And then he jumps to the ground. Boom, just like that. And let's see, I'm going to go all the way. We go in. All right, so that one just sort of ends right there, you know, that route. I mean, I have so many all the different shots in here. All right, then he runs across. Now, imagine again, this camera right here is going to be filming that right there. So again, he jumps off right there, runs over here, goes across, and disappears into the woods. Law enforcement goes in there later because they see that on camera, and they find the rifle wrapped in a black towel. All right. So That's that portion. All right, so we pretty much went through the whole thing right there, except for the new information. So then after Tyler Robinson went into the woods over here, right there, he somehow made it back. I think he went through the ROTC area, came out over here, and that's probably at like 12:35 or so. And from there, it's going to take 5 or 6 minutes to get to his vehicle. Maybe even more, you know. So this could have been, I mean, who knows how long it took in the woods, you know. So he does the shooting, then he goes into the woods, he has to change clothes, etc. And then they see him over here, maybe at like 12:30, 12:35. Then he makes his way back over to his vehicle at like 12:40, let's say. And then apparently a 7-minute drive. Maybe it was 12:37. That makes sense. So that would be perfect. If this is like 12:30 and it took 6 or 7 minutes from there, because remember how I told you from over here it's a 10-minute walk to get to there. So I'd imagine from here back there it might be 7 minutes. Okay, so let's say 7 minutes later he gets back to his car, and that would put him there at like 12:36 or so, right? Then it's a 7-minute drive out to this mall over here, the strip mall, and he got there at 12:44. Okay, 12:44, his car drives to this mall and parks right there. And we see that in this video coming up right there. Boom. So look at the time at the top, 12:44 and 26 seconds. Now he's not quite there yet, but then right there he is. There's the Dodge Challenger. And now the time is 12:44 and 50 seconds. So it is in the 12:44 minute. And then guess what? He pulls into there and he stops the car. He stops it there and it sits there for like a minute. Here, watch. So it stopped like 12:44 and 54 seconds. And then let's just go right when he starts moving. Now it's 12:46 and 25 seconds. So he was there for a minute and a half or so, stopped right there, and guess what he was doing? He was searching Google Maps, not searching, but entering into Google Maps a route to go to the car wash. So right at 12:46 from the documents, it says that he did a Google Maps and typed in like a quick, whatever the name of that car wash is, quick quack, and then he drove away, and it matches perfectly to that time. He literally drives away right at 12:46 and some odd seconds and goes over to this quick quack here. Now it probably took a while to get there because there's multiple lights. You know, you pull out here, you got this light. You know, you probably have a light there. You probably got a ton of lights, and then makes it over here at 12:57, which is only 10 minutes later, and he's on camera here at the quick quack. And then also, he did a map search. Well, I guess we don't need to get to that part yet, but right here, so he went to Dairy Queen, etc. I guess that was a 6 o'clock hour somewhere. And we don't know what he was doing, but for 13 hours, he stayed behind after the shooting to try to retrieve the rifle. He kept trying to get the rifle. And thanks, Vivian, up there. So he kept trying to get it, and he wasn't able to get it. And eventually, if you remember from the documents, he said, I'm just going to have to leave it. Like, what a bummer, whatever the hell the term is. And he drove home. Well, guess what? It turns out that at 12:47 a.m. on the 11th, so the murder happened on the 10th, and he's going all the way in the evening. He's waiting to go get that gun. And then at 12:47 a.m., he parks his car right here. So this is the house that was under construction that we've all heard about, that the university owns. There, it was under construction. An excavator driver communicated with Tyler Robinson on the day of the murder, as he was trying. He said, "Oh, you can't be in here, whatever." And so Tyler Robinson knew exactly where the gun was, probably based on that, and then he made sure to go back near that house later. So at 12:47, he parked the car right here, and it's filmed with this camera, and then he drives away at 1:35. So the car was parked there for 48 minutes, and then it drove away at 1:35. Now, we know now that at 1:33, he did another Google Maps thing. So 2 minutes before he drove away, he searched how to get back to his house in St. George. And he put it in there, and he drove home. Now, this is his cell phone, and it's his car. And his car and cell phone are linked to the area now. I don't know what out Candace Owens and these other clowns have in this case at this point. They've already have Tyler Robinson's cell phone just on the mapping portion. His cell phone's in town, though. It's moving around. It's there the whole time. I guarantee you they have stuff early in the morning all the way up until the evening when he drove away at 1:35. But they have him going to that strip mall at 12:40, ironically almost the same time, 12 hours earlier, 12:44. He goes to the strip mall where his vehicle is seen. It's crazy. Hey, thanks, Phyllis Watson. New cars have too many added features. I put mine in reverse, and a screen on the dash started playing a video of someone being run over. Jeez. Too many. Oh my God, Phyllis. You didn't notice that's what cars have now. You actually ran over somebody. That's actually a joke. All right, that's the best joke of the night. Come on, Jim. Look at it. New cars have too many added features. I put mine in reverse, and a screen on the dash started playing a video of someone being run over. There we go. That was good. All right, guys, as a crew out there, you guys, if you can do one challenge, how about if you guys do one challenge, a 5 for 5-er, I'll donate 5 too, and that'll, I'm still robbing Peter to pay Paul, but at least it'll look like in my brain that we made the goal. All right, I think that's the only way to do it, because we're currently at, let's see. Yeah, I mean, that would actually be exactly on the number. If anybody wants to do it. Let's see. Got, when did he have a steak dinner? Hey, Nosy, Google, I'm just not really interested in what you have to say, I gotta be honest. You always pipe stuff in because you're part of the Tyler didn't do it community. I've seen your comments. You don't believe that Tyler Robinson did it. You think it's part of a big conspiracy, right? You keep saying the same kinds of things over and over again. It's getting really old, I can be honest. All right, then he drove all the way home. All right. There was something I was going to look at. Like there's this precise timing in here. I think it was let's see. Yeah, there was something because we have really good time frames now, and the entire thing is captured. We've got him in this area at 12:47 to 12:35 as he waits to try to get that vehicle out of there. Or not a vehicle, the gun out of the woods. And then he eventually gives up and he drives home. But he's also in the area right after the homicides. He goes and gets his car, his homicide. He went and got the car cleaned. Yeah, I don't know anything about the steak dinner, dude. I mean, see, that's the thing. You're bringing up steak dinners. Who the hell's talking about steak dinners? You know? He went to Dairy Queen. I don't know what he was doing at a steak dinner. If he went to a steak dinner, great. Show me it in a document. Not what Candace Owens says. She's almost never right on anything. So any chance, you guys, we could do, if somebody does a 5 for 5-er, I'll do 5 2s, 10 for 5. All right, well, just, you know, quit bringing up stuff that Baron or Candace says that you think is a fact. Okay, I just don't want to do it. It's almost no chance of it being true. Good night, Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. All right. I'm trying to figure out, there was something. Yeah, it wasn't on the news a long time ago. No chance. If it was, I would have seen it. There's a gas station, sure. You know, maybe he had dinner at Denny's at 3 in the morning, and that's why there's like an hour of missing time before he got to the gas station. Because if you look, he leaves at 1:35 in the morning, and then, let's see, after that, so this is him at Dairy Queen. And then here he is, there he is already at the, there's his Dodge Challenger pulling in right there, and this time, if I have to go back, is 7:17. So maybe he had dinner, you know, late night dinner somewhere at some place. No, you guys don't want to do it. I mean, it's so disheartening whenever I do like a challenge type request and it just falls on deaf ears. It just, you know, it's almost like nobody heard it. So there you go. You got him at the gas pump, and then he goes home. And then we got all the other timing. It's just really clear, obvious stuff. But I don't know what the people are, what's their, like, how are they going to try to explain this stuff? That he does these searches, and his phone and his car are proven to be his phone and car there at the time, and that's him moving around. That's him with the rifle in his pants. His DNA on the trigger and the towel. His parents identified him. It just goes on and on and on. Yeah. Well, another 3 out of 5 days we haven't reached the goal, you guys. And not even close on 2 of them. So now we're even further behind. Tyler Robinson. Okay, who's saying this? All right, hold on a second. I'm going to look up steak dinner. He had a steak, had a sirloin medium rare, he said, vegetables, baked potato. The restaurant owner told Fox News Digital he is a huge fan of Kirk's work and called the situation a crappy deal all the way around. He also has ties to some Robinson relatives. It's kind of hit a local chord because we're pretty tight-knit, he said. His grandmother grew up here in town. The next day after Robinson's arrest, his picture circulated widely. When they put a picture of the young man out there, I had a server say that they were relatively certain that they had the person in that night. Let's see. When I had a server say that they were relatively certain that they had that person in that night. The owner told Fox News Digital. The FBI called him back and asked for any information on the lone dinner. Investigators interviewed the owner and 2 servers. All right, you guys. I'll do a challenge, even though we're not even close. I'll donate 5 memberships if you guys donate 5. All right, that's all. That's what I'll do. You don't have to do the thing yourself. I'll donate 5 if you give 5. If you don't get 5, then no. But there you go. I'll give it a shot. We're 75 short of when I normally do that. So what restaurant is it? The card reader system at the restaurant doesn't store the names from cards. If the user supplies a PIN, hey, Phyllis Watson, supplies a PIN, the owner said, and a camera over the cash register didn't record the area where the lone diner was seated. However, he was able to provide the FBI with the last 4 digits of the card used to pay for the steak and potato meal. That was the last I've heard of it, he said. I don't know if the FBI found it was conclusive it was him or not. The FBI, which is typically tight-lipped regarding active cases, has not confirmed whether the number matches Robinson's bank card. The FBI followed through. I wish they had given. Why didn't they give us a time frame of that? All right, let's see if this one. All right, guys, we need 4 more. Please don't have it so I have to try to get it over and over and over again. We have my challenge in here. We need 4 gifted channel memberships. Then I'll donate 5. All right? It's that simple. A Utah business owner says Tyler Robinson ate at his restaurant. Is this going to go to Fox News? As judge bans media cameras. I don't know if it has to do with anything. Hey, thanks, Vivia Von Seca. There you go. I think that whole thing that I just went through deserves super chats. Isn't it amazing, you guys, how it's such a struggle to get people to support the channel? And I just went through something that was so complex and so well presented that you just, it's almost as if you were there walking around yourself. And it's so hard. But these clowns out there can make up a story about jets and talk about how Erica didn't go to an event, and they get thousands and thousands of super chats, etc. Wouldn't that be great if channels like mine did that? Imagine how much money we'd be giving away to true crime related charities, etc. if that was the case. It'd probably be double or triple what we're doing. All right, so can we get these last 3 gifted channel memberships to reach my goal, and I'll donate 5 again. The owner of the mom and pop steakhouse in Bangwitch. So this might be like he ate late at night. And we'll be able to tell here in a second. Let's see where this is. I bet it's way down south. There we go. There we go. And I bet you... Oh, do I already have a pin there? Oh, well, it looks like I already have a pin there. So I must have already known that he ate somewhere there. Guess I forgot about it. All right. Right, so he probably up there at, let's see, how far? Yeah. It's almost like that was his last meal. He knew it. A steak and potatoes, you know, almost something right out of a movie. That must have been 2 hours later. So it was really late for him to have done that. Yeah, so it does say the owner of the mom and pop steakhouse, about 3 hours south of where the Turning Point USA Foundation was, founder was gunned down. So that must mean it was like 4:30 in the morning. They said the 22-year-old murder suspect sat alone at the counter and kept to himself as he scarfed down the meal. So the gal that served him said that he was quiet, kind of shy. All right, guys, we need 2 more. The eatery owner, who asked not to be named, told the outlet. Usually, if somebody sits at our counter, they like to talk. And he sat on the counter, and she said he really didn't want to talk, just wanted to eat and get out. The proprietor noted the lone diner ordered a medium rare sirloin. I like medium rare. With vegetables and baked potato. But the next day, when the FBI released photos of the alleged gunman, the owner said his staff immediately recognized him and contacted the feds, according to the outlet. When they put a picture of the young man out there, I had a server say they were relatively certain that they had that person in that night. But what time? See, that's all that matters. If they say it was like 9 o'clock, there's no chance, right? The conspiracy theorists would believe it because they would go, "I'll say it wasn't him, it wasn't him." You know, they just come up with this whole thing. But if they're saying at night and it was like, it's a Denny's and they're still open at 4 in the morning, then that would make sense. Only the last 4 digits of the credit card used. That was the last I've heard of it. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get any more specific information on that. Hey, Vivian Fonseca. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for reaching that goal with a minimum amount of trying to get it. Jesus. Let's see. 135. Yeah. Man, what another really struggling, hard night. And there you go. Oh, I gave that out $50 less than normal. What the heck? Oh, hey, thanks. Oh, Lisa Belson. Jeez. That was very kind of you. So what does that get us? I think that... Hey, it almost made it normal. Me gifting the 5 there, that was good. Ish, you know, it's almost there. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. So all of you guys out there watching this, what do you think of that whole presentation that we just made? Well, thanks again, Lisa Belson and Phyllis Watson, and we always have Wild Bill Wassman and Alley Kick always chiming in, checking out, helping out, and then we also had Chris O'Connell did a PayPal. That's pretty cool. I did add it. I did add it, Karen. Thank you. Oh, that's right. You snuck yours in right before the... I was about to say thanks, and then Vivian's came in there. So thanks, Karen and Vivian. Well, how do we know what restaurant it is, Lisa? How do we even know what you're talking about? Yeah, we don't know what restaurant it was. It was in that town, but I have no idea why you would, you know. Did you get the name of the restaurant? Because it's not in the document, any of these articles that I just read. What do you mean Google? What does that even mean, Google? What is the name of the restaurant? Where does it say the name of the restaurant? You know how it works here, Lisa. You don't just sort of go, Google. You know, I need to know the name of the, you know, get the article, the link, so I can see it on the screen and we know what it is. All right? Hey, thanks for the comment there, Phyllis Watson. Jesus. Google. It's ludicrous. My God. I just looked all over in these. It doesn't say the name of the restaurant. I just read Fox News, New York Post, AOL. There was no name of the restaurant in those documents. Where is it? I don't see an email or anything that has the link. Oh, Jesus. It's just... yes, it's so funny. Zozo does the same thing. You go, oh, great, yeah, I found the thing. Where? I don't know. I found it online. Well, can I see the link? You know, I need to show it so we have proof of something. So now we're just sitting around waiting to get the name of the place. Did anybody see the name? Where does it say Cowboy Steakhouse? What article does it tell you Cowboy Steakhouse in? It just says Panguitch Steakhouse. Okay. Where does it say Cowboys Steakhouse? Still a link. Still waiting. Still waiting. Hey, cool, Karen. Okay, it's okay, Nosy. I'm not even trusting that it's out there. I don't see it. If you can't find it, then, you know, like, show me it. Hey, Lisa, Valenzuela, you said Google. Well, where is it? I'm waiting for the link. I haven't seen it yet. Where is it? Google. Jesus, man, it's almost rude. I mean, where is the damn, you know, it doesn't say it anywhere in here. All right, maybe right here. Okay, Candace Owens is claiming that he ate at the Cowboy Steakhouse. See, there it says. Right there. It said, he drove 3 hours away to eat steak and mashed potatoes at a Cowboy Steakhouse. At a Cowboy Steakhouse. Who cares what Grok said? I mean, Jesus. That doesn't count, man. Give me a reporter who said it was Cowboy Steakhouse. All we have is Candace Owens said that. Here's... okay, hold on a second. Hold on. What's this thing? I bet it's Candace Owens. No. Oh, Candace Owens. A lover, though. All right, let's see. Where was the Tyler Robinson night after Charlie Kirk? She claimed that Tyler went to Cowboy Smoke... Now it's Smokehouse. And you guys know how we do it, right? When you come up with something, just, you know, say, hey, Gray, I sent you a link. Here's where this thing is. Not, it's on Google. That doesn't do anything. Okay, let's see. Steakhouses. in... All right. Okay, right next to this pin there is a place called Cowboys Smokehouse, not Steakhouse, or Cowboys Smokehouse Cafe / Steakhouse. Is that it? Okay, and then let's see, what day of the week was that? So that would have been the 11th. Would have been that's a weekday, right? Thursday. It's closed right now. Open 7 a.m. Friday. I know, I just looked it up. You don't need to help me out, Tranquility Base. Okay? I know how to do all this stuff. I just found it, you know. I just told you there was one steakhouse there. I don't need your help. I found it. Thank you. It's like people just intentionally... It's just weird shit, man. I just showed it on the screen. Let's see. What's the... I don't know. $8 a.m. to 8:30 Thursday. Yeah, so I mean, if that is the place, then it wasn't open at that time, so it's not him. Okay. That's if it's that place. Because it doesn't... If it was a Denny's, I would think, okay, cool. You know, I like you know, I like steak when they're... How do you guys like your steak? I like mine medium rare to rare. Like, I don't mind if it's still wiggling after it was slaughtered. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wiggling around, you know. That would be good enough for me as long as you know... medium rare is what I usually get, but usually I like rare. I can't stand it when it's overcooked. It's just chewy and dry and gray looking, you know. Yeah, medium rare. That's usually the best one. I like medium rare, and you know, it usually comes out a little rarer than normal. You know, and then I like prime rib. I love eating the edges, you know, with the little fats and all that. It's pretty good. Yeah, I like it a little bit more rare. I like it a little bloody, you know, so good. Ah, God, not having... You gotta have a little bit of blood on there. It's so good. And what steak sauce do you guys like? I like A1's good. A little bit on the side there. I used to do Worcestershire or whatever the hell you call it. A1. What's the other one? There's one that's like A1, but it's called something else. Yeah, see, everyone always says that. I don't agree with you. I think you can have bites of steak when they're not, and then you have some with a sauce on it, because it just tastes good. It doesn't mean it's not a good steak. That's really that's not the correct answer there. A good steak. Of course, yeah, it doesn't need one, but even if it tastes good, I like to have some bites with like A1 or something on there. Yeah. It's so good. Ugh, man. Yeah, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Debbie. Let's see. Yeah, good or bad steaks can use a steak sauce. Doesn't mean it's a bad steak if you have a steak sauce. Yeah, Leah Perrins. That's the one. That's the one. That's the other one. Leon Perrins. I remember that. That was the other one. Good sushi. You don't need wasabi and soy sauce. Well, what do you mean? That's part of eating. Okay. All right. See you later, Nosy. You always do the. You always sort of do the. I just said that. You're just a troll, man. God. Nosy Google, troll of the century. Every second, you repeat the same thing just to be disagreeable. Let's see. Even really great steaks taste good with steak sauce. That's just the truth. I don't give a damn if you don't agree. It doesn't mean it's a bad steak. So when people say, a really good steak doesn't need sauce, sure, I'm sure it tastes good without the sauce. But it still tastes good with the sauce. It's just like a ridiculous argument. Let's see. The best prime rib is from Texas Roadhouse. It cuts like butter. All right. Because you're just trying to be disagreeable, Debbie. A good steak, you don't need to have a steak sauce, but it also tastes good with steak sauce. So your comment is just sort of, you're trying to be, it's like the virtue signaling. Oh, yes, you guys. If you really cook a steak great, you really don't need a steak sauce at all, boy. It's so, come on. Let's see. Ribeye is my favorite, yeah. I like, is that the one that has that little fat deposit inside the hole there? That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the Karens out there, the Debbie there. Just gets all whiny. All right. Let's see. Don't worry about it, Karen W. She won't be back. Let's see. I don't eat meat or seafood without sauce. A really great steak. Yeah, Jesus. Here we go again. We know. We know. Yes, the steak tastes good if it's cooked well. But I asked you, what's your favorite steak sauce? I didn't ask if a steak is cooked great. You don't need a steak sauce. That wasn't the question I asked. At this point, what difference does it make? That's Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton said that, man. Hey, name the quote in one. I did it. What? At this point, what difference does it make? It makes all the difference in the world. Is that what you were going for, Phyllis? The Hillary Clinton line? I know you were, because that's the only person that ever said it just like that. Maybe Phyllis is letting us have a hint that the female serial killer in her novel is Hillary Clinton. I just realized that. That's what she's trying to tell us. Yeah, what is tri-tip? I've heard that before, but I also like pork steaks, whatever you call them. I mean, those are just almost as good. I mean, that's pretty amazing. But every time you overcook it, it doesn't taste very good. I can't do it right now because I'm laughing. Don't give it away. That's it. I knew it. Hillary Clinton, the serial killer. There you go. Gosh, Gray, why do you ask a question if you don't... I just said, what's your favorite steak sauce? Not the holier than thou. A good steak doesn't need any sauce. Because you see, I know how to cook it where you don't need a sauce. In fact, it's pretty much an insult if you ever put any sauce on the steak that I cook, because it's the greatest steak in the world and you don't need a sauce. Yeah. That's why I just said, what's your favorite sauce? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a guest speaker at... Oh, geez, again. Jeez. Who cares? She's always at CrimeCon, Karen. Nancy Grace goes to every single CrimeCon. Every single one of them, she's there. It's not like, whoa, breaking news! Nancy Grace is going to CrimeCon, everybody! She's been at every CrimeCon and they treat her she's like the rest of us who had booths there. We have to, do the booths and everything. She's set up like royalty, like walking around and brought to different places. They pay her to go there. Oh, you don't have to say her. Sorry, I'm just goofing around. I don't really care. It's just not breaking news that Nancy Grace is going to CrimeCon. She goes to every single one of them. Anyways, hope you guys found the show interesting tonight. Where are we at? Yes, thanks to NCJD23. It's like a airplane number. Richard Watts, and we got Wild Bill Wassman, Cheryl Bullock, South Texas guy, Wild Bill Wassman, Alley Cake, Wild Bill Wassman, Coco Love, then Dom C, Wild Bill Wassman, Alley Cake, Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles, Whiskey Boots, Coco Love, Michelle H., Timothy Cecil, Lisa Belson with 10 gifted memberships, then Timothy Cecil, Wild Bill Wassman, Michelle H., Alley Cake, Coco Love, then Lisa Belson again, thank you. Then we had Nosy, Google, Jessica Schubach, Wild Bill Wassman, Alley Cake, Sarge, Don, USMC, EB, and then his was, you can't get, oh, this got a content anywhere. That's cool, thanks. Then Lisa V, Jim Lawn, Vivian Von Secca, then Phyllis Watson. Two cars have too many added features, or new cars have too many added features. You know, I put mine in reverse, and a screen on the dash started playing a video of someone being run over. Those bastards. And then we got Phyllis Watson again, and Vivian Von Secca, Alley Cake, Karen, then Vivian again, Then I gifted 5. Then Lisa Belson did another 5. And then Karen. And then Phyllis Watson. And then Karen again. Yeah. Very cool. Thank you, guys. I'm tired. What a long day today was. A lot of stuff going on. Oh, and also thanks to Chris O'Connell. And sorry if I was a little bit, get a little cranky sometimes in here because it's just like, I don't know, I just do. It's frustrating a lot of times. I get really frustrated. But if you guys, when you find some piece of information and you're looking it up while you're on the show because we're talking about it, then send me the link. Like, hey, Gray, here's that thing I was just telling you about. Now, I think I do kind of remember this thing because I had a pin on where this, apparently he was supposed to have eaten at, but I don't think he did. If that thing was closed at 9 o'clock, he couldn't have. At all. There's no chance. And he couldn't even have done it in the morning. He got gas at 7 something, and he couldn't have done that. All right, it's no big deal. But you guys just see me however I am on any given moment in time. All right, but listen, man, I'll agree that a good steak, you don't need any sauce. But I want sauce, even if it's a good steak. You see, it doesn't mean it's a bad steak. I just want sauce on it. And really what I was asking is, what's your favorite steak sauce? And we've got the Lee and Perrins. We've got A1, Worcestershire, ketchup. That's a little sacrilegious, I got to be honest with you. I had to take my pet porcupine to the acupuncturist. It was a whole ordeal. I'm a little cranky too. Had to take my pet porcupine to the acupuncturist. Wow. So what did you do with it, man? Did she take all the what are they called? Quills out of it? It was a whole ordeal. I'm sure it was. But heck, you could just lay on top of the porcupine and take care of all the needs, I guess. Yeah. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope you got something out of it. I thought we, had a good, interesting show tonight. I think one of these days I'm going to have to make a video of that whole thing that I did. Just the entire, I've done something like it before, but now we have more information. I might wait until after that preliminary hearing, see if there's anything new. Hey, thanks, Karen. Night, everyone. I have to go restart the show now because I missed the whole dang thing. Hey, all right. Well, you can watch the entire thing we went through. It was pretty good. And thanks to everybody who helped support the channel tonight. I just try to, on my show, yes, I do ask for and try to get to the goals, because I know what it takes to reach the goals where we're able to give away thousands of dollars also, as well as surviving as a channel, right? So some nights it gets really, really frustrating. It's been really frustrating lately, last 5 days, man. Really, I mean, we've done good on 2 of the 5, but it was just right at the end, and then 2 shows literally collapsed and crashed and burned. One of them was the worst night in the history of doing the show, so I don't know what happened there, but it just sort of popped out of nowhere. But anyways, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and who knows what tomorrow will bring. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Thank you for watching Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube, where we cover true crime using logic, reason, and common sense. Thank you very much for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Evil can never be dead enough.